Alright, well, we got our carburetor off. This is the hole where it hooked up here. And that's pretty dirty. And it smells like oil, so that's a problem. But, yeah, this is the carburetor. And basically how it works, I mean, there's different kinds of carburetors, and the older they get, the different they work, you know. But basically the way this one worked was, you had this part that sat against the motor like that, and you had this part up here that hooked up to the air cleaner over there and let the air in through here, over here, and into the motor. And then under here, coming from actually probably both of these tubes, but probably this one for sure. This one went down, actually this one because it's longer. This one went down into the gas tank, sucked in the gas, put it up in the same, it made it run in with the air that was coming in from the top into the motor. The air and the gas combine, and then they just make a explosive enough mixture to light the motor. I don't know how to explain how that works, but and then this right here, it's the same as on I think it was a snapper we were working on there, maybe a snowblower, but you just loosen it to let more air or more gas in, and you tighten it to let more gas in. Now with those, it's not like the looser you have them, the more they're going to rev. On some engines, but most it's not. It's just to control how much air gets in, because there has to be the right air and fuel mixture in order for it to run right. But, so, now that we got that off, and then this hose just came from actually it's a pipe, but it came from the bottom of the carb down, and I think it was maybe into here. No, that don't look right. I think it went into that hole right there, which looks like it is gummed up pretty bad. So, throw that in there, and then there was just two bolts holding it in, and here's the governor, John. But, so yeah, now that we got that all off, we are going to take off the cover, and I know I'm probably not doing this in the order some of you would, but whatever. But, so, we're going to take off the cover, which should mean just taking out this bolt right here, and let's see if there's one on the bottom here. Yep, this bolt right here, and then one under there. Not this one, that's a socket, but a bolt right there. So I'm going to take them out, and they look like they might just be, yep, those are, let me look here, those are 7/16. So I'm going to get them out, hopefully they don't break. This isn't too rusted, but I'll be back in a minute. Alright, we got the cover off, so now the flywheel's exposed, and it actually turns. Holy moly, I can't believe it. She turns, boys. Maybe this will be a good rebuild after all. Actually, maybe it'll be a rebuild and not just a teardown. Oh, it's stuck now. I'll go that way. Who knows what that might be. But I took this cover off, and look at all this junk that just fell out. Leaves and all kinds of stuff. But so, now what we're going to do is, you can see when you turn the flywheel, this pulley turns. But, so, what we're going to do now is, I don't know, let me think and I'll get back to y'all. Alright, so I took the cover off, and obviously the recoil came with it. Now, something I can't figure out right here, when the cover and the recoil are off, then I can get it to pull, right? But, well, and when it's off, I can get the flywheel to turn, right? But it'll only turn so far this way, which is actually the way it's supposed to turn when it's running, and I can only get it to turn so far this way, which is the wrong way to turn, but I mean, it should be able to without stopping. So, what I'm wondering is, maybe it's not catching the piston in there or something. So what I'm going to do here, the spark plug's out, I'm going to take my finger, and this is a little farmer's trick I learned. I'm going to take my finger, and I'm going to put it down in that hole. I'm going to take my other hand, and I'm going to turn this flywheel here, and I should be able to feel that piston come up and hit my finger if all is right. So, we will see in a minute. Well, I did my little farmer's trick, and it worked. I'm going to see if I can get you in there enough. Now, I might not be able to focus it here. Now, if you look here, you can see I'm turning it. You can see that one piece to the left moving, right? That's your piston moving up and down with the flywheel. Alright, and if that piston's moving, then that's a good sign, and it means there's less of a chance that your motor's not completely blown. Alright? And it's blowing air out of this hole, which is the hole that the carburetor was hooked up to. Alright? So, what I'm thinking here is if it's not turning all the way like it's supposed to, then there's a possibility that because there was so much junk in it, maybe something got in there, which I don't know how it would, but maybe something got in there, and it's just catching or something, I don't know. It's like it's catching early. Well, I looked at it a bit more, and the only thing I can think of is maybe there's something within the motor. So I'm going to take off the block here, and it's just these few bolts, and those look like they might just be 1/2 inch. They're not 7/16, so let's get a 1/2 inch here. Yes, sir. 1/2 inch. There's 2, 4, 5, probably, well, there's like 7 or 8 bolts. I don't know if all these go down or if they're just holding this plate on. But I'm going to get them off and I will be back in a minute. Alright, well I got the bolts out. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts there. And they're the long ones and they all go in the hole. And the head should come off right now. There you go. And it looks like the gasket isn't too bad on her, but it also looks like she's pretty crusty in there. But like I was saying, you know, you can see there's your piston, and as you turn the flywheel, you can see the piston going up and down, right? And one thing you always want to check to see if you got a blown motor is you take your finger here and you got to wipe out the oil first. So, oh, I hope that wasn't anything important. But you wipe out the oil out of the piston shaft here. That's what I call it. Yeah, but that's probably not the right name. But you know what? I know how to do this stuff, and so I'll call the stuff what I want. I still know how to do it. Anyways, you take your finger here and you just run it along this wall here. And if you feel any gouges, then that means that you probably ran it low on oil. You got something in there that wasn't supposed to be, something like that. Now some of them can be machined out if the engine's actually worth that much. Some of them can't because they're just too deep. Well, I took a magnet to it, and that's not shavings, but I don't know what else it would be. But I've got a feeling that these two cylinders here are supposed to be going up and down with the piston. And if they're not, then that's bad. I'm going to try to see what this is like. If it's like a car motor. Oh, yep, see, you got it moving. And it's just moving a little bit. The flywheel's turning more too. So let's pound on this one. I pounded on this one last time. Let's see what happens. Maybe pound on it when it's up. I'll be back in a minute.